we begin the day's proceedings with a book release. Justice Srimati Prabha Sreedharan, who is our Vice President, has been translating the musical writings of Maha Mahopadhyaya Uve Swaminatha Iyer. The book will be released now. I request the President to formally release the book and hand over the first copy to Sangeeta Kalanidhi elect Vidwan Shri R.K. Sriram Kumar. Before I request Srimati Prabha Sreedharan to say a few words about the book, I would like to announce that this is a soft launch of the book. The book by itself will be available for sale within a month from now. And it will be announced on the Music Academy's website and will be available for purchase from then on. Thank you very much. Srimati Prabha Sreedharan.
எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். இன்றைக்கி என்னோடய லைஃப்பில் ரொம்ப பெரிய பொன்னாள். என்னக்கா தீக்ஷிதருடைய 250வது இதில் நானும் மியூசிக் அகாடமி சீசனில் மேடை ஏறினேன்னு சொன்னால் யாருமே அதை நோபடி கேன் சே யூ டிட் நாட். அதுக்கு அவருக்கு நன்றி. அப்புறம் ஊவேசா அவர்களுக்கு பெரிய நன்றி. அவ்வளோ அந்த இசைக்கட்டுரைகள் நான் அவர் மிஸ்டர் காலச்சோட கண்ணனை கேட்டேன். He said, வேறு யாருமே they have not recorded history about music of that times. ஸோ அது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அவர் ப்ரொஃபஸர் சரவணன் கீழே வந்துட்டார். அவர் தான் இசைக்கட்டுரைகள்னு அதை கம்பைல் பண்ணினார். அதுக்கப்புறம் லலிதா ராம் அவரோட சேனலில் வந்து இது நிச்சயமாக இதை டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணணும், நிறைய பேருக்கு தமிழ் தெரியாதவங்களுக்கெல்லாம் தெரியணும்னு சொன்னார். தட் இஸ் வை ஐ ஸ்டார்டட் ட்ரான்ஸ்லேட்டிங். அண்ட் தென் மியூசிக் அகாடமி வாஸ் ஸோ graceful and, as they say, cliche word, but readily agreed to publish the book. Thanks to President Murali, thanks to Sriram and Sumati Meenakshi Krishnan for accepting the book. அப்புறம் மிஸ்டர் சலபதி who's here, நான் வந்து blurb-ஆ எழுதுறேன்னு, பட் யூ ஷுட் when it's available you should read the blurb. அவ்வளோ it's pithy and it's so describes the book so well. தமிழ் படிக்க தெரிந்தவர்கள் அந்த ஊவேசா ப்ரொஃபஸர் சரவணன் கம்பைல் பண்ணதில் சலபதி எழுதியிருக்கிற தமிழ் முன்னுரை படிக்கணும். இட்ஸ் எக்ஸலண்ட். அப்புறம் ஐ ஹாவ் ஹர்ட் வி ஸ்ரீராம் டாக் அபவுட் காம்பியூ பிரிண்ட் அண்ட் திவாகர்ஸ் மேஜிக், பட் இந்த தடவை நான் அதை பார்த்தேன். வித் நோ டைம் அட் ஆல் ஹி மேட் திஸ் புக் ரெடி. ஸோ அவருக்கு தேங்க்ஸ். எல்லாருக்கும் மேலே அஃப்கோர்ஸ் உவேசாக்கு தேங்க்ஸ் சொல்லணும். அவர் யாரை பற்றி எழுதியிருக்கிற அந்த சங்கீத கலைஞர்களுக்கு தேங்க்ஸ். அன்னைக்கு அந்த சங்கீத வித்வான்களை பேணி போஷித்தவர்கள் முக்கியமாக திருவாவடுதுறை ஆதீனம். அவள் இல்லாட்டாக்க எவ்வளோ தூரம் வந்திருக்குமான்னு தெரியாது. அப்புறம் சமஸ்தான மன்னர்கள், they have invited the musicians, asked them to stay with them, and they have honored them and rewarded them without any hope for any return except their love for music and Tamil. அது நம்ம ரொம்ப அதை அக்னாலேஜ் பண்ணணும். ஐ எம் வெரி கிரேட்ஃபுல் டு மியூசிக் அகாடமி அகெயின். அண்ட் இன்னும் ஒன்று சொல்ல மறந்து போயிட்டேன். ஒரு நாளைக்கு எனக்கு ஏதோ ஒரு டவுட் வந்தது. சரி யாரை கேட்கலான்னு சொல்லிட்டு சங்கீத கலாநிதி எலெக்ட் ஸ்ரீராம் குமார் அவருக்கு தான் ஃபோன் பண்ணி சக்கரத்தானம்னா என்ன அப்படின்னு கேட்டேன். யூ won't பிலீவ் இட் பட் யூ வில் பிலீவ் இட். வித்தின் 1 செகண்ட் எனக்கு ஒரு தீசிஸே வந்துடுத்து. எப்படி இவ்வளவு விஷயம் ஒரு மூளையில் இருக்கும்னு அந்த ஆலிவர் கோல்ட்ஸ்மித் சொல்வார். அந்த மாதிரி தான் நிஜமாக எனக்கு கண்ணிலே ஜலம் வந்துடுத்து. அப்படி எவ்வளோ எழுதிட்டேன். எழுதி இதான் ஆண்டி அப்படின்னு. இட்ஸ் அமேசிங். ரொம்ப அவருக்கு சங்கீத கலாநிதி கிடைக்கிற வருஷம் இந்த புக்கு நானும் மேடை ஏறுறேங்கிறது எனக்கு ரொம்ப ஹாப்பி. தேங்க்யூ ஆல்.
இதை நான் எடுத்துன்னு போகலாமா? இங்கே வச்சுருவேன். சத்யா தெரியும், அதனால தான் போயிட்டு வரேன்.
நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா? வரணும், வாங்க. So once you're ready, I'll announce. Our first presentation this morning is by Professor Dr CA Sreedhara, who is the musicologist awardee for this year. Professor Sreedhara, born to Srimati Satya Lakshmi and Sri C.K. Anantaramaya, was inspired by his grandfather, Vidwan C.T. Srinivasa Murthy Muralidhar, who was a flautist and a Vedic scholar, began his training in vocal music and on the flute at the age of 4, learning from his mother, and Vidwan Venkat Narayana Udupa Shastri, who belonged to the disciple lineage of Sri Tyagaraja. His first concert was at the age of 14. A PhD holder in fine arts music, Professor Sreedhara has served for 40 years at the University College of Fine Arts. He has served as the head of Department of Music and also as the principal of the University College of Fine Arts, University Evening College, and the Maharaja's College at the University of Mysore. At present, he is serving as a visiting professor of music in the Karnataka State Dr. Gangubai Hangal Music and Performing Arts University, Mysore. Today, he will be presenting on the historic evolution of the flute as a tribute to the centenary of Mahavidwan Shri TR Mahalingam. Over to you, sir. 45 minutes by the clock. Thank you.
Namaskaram, everyone. My topic is the evolution of the flute in Carnatic music. Before starting to my lecture demonstration, my salutations to the esteemed Madras Music Academy. a prominent seat of Carnatic music. My lecture demonstration is an attempt to trace important milestones in the evolution of flute in Carnatic classical music with reference to sacred and secular literature, Silappathikaram, Bharata's Natya Shastra, Shangadeva's Sangeeta Ratnakara, Pandarika Vithala's Sadraga Chandrodaya, and also legendary flute exponents and their role in the evolution of flute in Carnatic classical music. Flute is a universal instrument. It has prehistoric origins. In Indian context, flute is equated with divinity and spirituality. As all of us know, music originated from Veda. Sama Vedadidam Geetam Sanjagraha Pitama. That is a quotation. Sama Veda is the base for Indian classical music. Flute, which was called Venu, it was already evolved as a Vedic instrument during Vedic times. Vedic literature refers to flute as Venu, Vamshi, Nadi, Kandavina, Tunava. So here, Nadi, it is also a kind of Venu made up of bamboo. Acharya Sayana, who wrote Bhashyas to Vedas, he calls Nadi as Vadya Vishesho Venuhu. Then a great scholar, Kalland, calls Kandavina as a type of bamboo flute. Venu was already a bamboo flute which was already evolved. And Tunavas were bamboo flutes which were used during different yagas like Ashwamedha, Rajasuya, Vajapeya, etc. And also during Mahavrata celebrations. Mahavrata celebrations, they were Laukika celebrations, social gathering. Lot of instrumentalists, they used to gather and they used to play, sing together. So it was happening in Vedic times. Upanishads, they have equated Venunada with Brahma. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. It is one of the sutra in Badarayana's Brahma Sutra. Actually, Upanishad, it explains Brahma, which is equivalent to the Nada which comes out. So here, I would like to quote one beautiful quotation from a great scholar by name Abhinava Gupta. In the history of Mimamsa, Bharatiya Mimamsa, Abhinava Gupta, he is the Meru. He says, flute derive life from the prana, that is breath. Prana is directly linked with bhava, that is emotion. Therefore, the flute becomes a natural vehicle for rasa and a powerful instrument for rasa nishpatti. A beautiful analogy. Therefore, Sri Krishna symbolically has a flute in his hand. So he teaches what is Brahma, how to attain self-realization, Atma Sakshatkaram. It is like Venunada Prakriya. Our Upanishads, they also speak the same, they analyze the same. Then Ramayana, Mahabharata, they had flute. Even Sundarakanda of Ramayanam explains flute. Lady flutists in the Antapura of Ravaneshwara. One beautiful picture is there. When Anjaneya enters Ravana's Antapuram, he watches several instruments. One lady flutist, he is holding a flute in her hand, she is sleeping. A veena player, she has her hand on veena. On the dandi itself, she is sleeping. So that was the musical vibrations in Ravana's Antapura. Ravana was a great musician. A great musician. And even in Mahabharata, flute was associated in social functions. It was a part of Atodhya. Atodhya means instrumental ensemble with veena and percussion instruments. It was very popular during Ramayana and Mahabharata times. Even Ashtadasha Puranas, they have dealt in detail with flute as an accompaniment instrument to voice, and also an inseparable part of an ensemble, instrumental ensemble. So, in Vedic and Puranic literature, it is evident that flute was an accompanying instrument. It was an accompaniment instrument to dance. It was associated with instrumental ensemble consisting of veena, murasu, different instruments. Now, several ancient civilizations, they had flute, including Indus Valley civilization. One interesting thing is here at this point, that is, one great scholar Parpala and one Subramaniam. So they have debated on the subject that Proto-Dravidian culture with Harappan civilization. Whatever Dravidian culture existed, evolved, it has its link with Harappan civilization. Automatically, music, that is Isai, it has its evolved form in Harappan civilization. Even today in Dravidian land, so this Tamil Isai, what we call it as Tamil music, it has played an important role in the evolution of, as a whole, music. Of course, it is a wonderful treatise consisting of poetry, theatre, music, all the fine arts, everything. There, they deal with flute. They call it as kudal, pullangulam. Then, my dear scholarly friends, Bharata's Natya Shastra, it is a most important basis for the evolution of Indian arts, including theatre. Of course, it is not a treatise on music, but it is a treatise written on theatre. But Bharata Muni explains music, musical instruments as a part of theatre. In the 30th Adhyaya, it is known as Sushira Adhyayam. There, Bharata Muni explains Venu. He calls it as Venu. Generally, Sanskrit literature, it calls the flute as Venu. Whereas in Dravidian culture, it is known as Kudal, Pullangudal. So here, it was known as Venu. He gives information about the material to be used to make a flute. So that is bamboo, blackwood, Srigandham, then gold, silver, etc. Then, finest of the technique is Bharata Muni explains 3 types of major techniques, finger techniques. One is Vyakta Mukta. Second one, Ardha Mukta. Third one, Kampitam. Vyakta Mukta means so fully opening the hole. For example, it is Vyakta Mukta. Second one, Ardha Mukta, half closing technique. The third one is Kampita. Kampitam. He equates these techniques with different Shrutis. Vyakta Mukta produces 4 Shrutis, Chatushruti. Ardha Mukta produces Dvishruti. And Kampita produces Trishruti. In Grama Murchana Jati Paddhati, in Bharata's Natya Shastra, that is Chatushcha Shadja Madhyama Panchamaha Dve Nishada Gandharo Tristri Rishubhadaivato. This is an equation given for Shadjagramam. During Bharata's time, that is BC 200, 300, that period, flute techniques, they were used to produce different notes of Shadjagrama and Madhyamagrama. Then, Bharata explains flute music as a part of instrumental ensemble. He calls it as Kutapa. Kutapa type of music was in usage during Bharata's time. Different Kutapas are there. Tata Kutapa, Avanadha Kutapa. Tata Kutapa means a Kutapa having instrumental ensemble having string instruments. Avanadha Kutapa, drum instruments. So in that way, it was an accompanying instrument to dance. It was an accompanying instrument for providing drone. It was also a common man friendly instrument. Cowherds were playing on the flute. Even Sangam literature explains the same. Kulal was a popular instrument among pastoral people who cowherds. So we can remember Sri Krishna holding on his flute as Gopalaka. Thus we can say Bharata's Natya Shastra was also an important milestone in the evolution of flute. Now I will directly enter to Silappathikaram. My dear scholarly friends, because of time constraint, only I will give you very few highlighting points during this evolution journey. Great flutists are here, so they know the inner threads of flute playing. Those inner threads were already evolved, explained during Silappathikaram time. Really, I was surprised to study them in Silappathikaram. A great scholar, Dr. S. Ramanathan, a great saintly musician he was. I had association with him. He has done a wonderful work called Music in Silappathikaram. There he explains Kulal. Silappathikaram, the author is Ilangodigal. It is a Tamil epic, but it is an encyclopedia-like work. There, he explains what type of material to be used for making a flute. Once again, he suggests bamboo, the best material for making, and then khadira wood, and then shrigandham, gold, silver, iron, wood. She suggests different materials to make the same. Then he gives some suggestions, instructions to flutists. That Ilangodigal. Actually, Kovalan, the hero of Silappathikaram, was a great expert flutist. He was a yard player. He was a legendary musician. So here they explain good qualities of a flutist. Flutist should be well knowledgeable in literature. He should study literature. Then he should acquire vocal knowledge. Then he should be expert in laya management. It is very difficult to manage laya, that too flutists, for flutists. When I come to Tirupambaram Swaminatha Pillai, actually he invented a particular system to play, to show the talam using his feet. That Tirupambaram Swaminatha Pillai, and before him, Sharabha Shastrigal. Because he was blind, and then he was self-dependent. Then when I come to that point, I will give some more information. And another thing, Silappathikaram explains a particular type of flute having 15-inch during his times, which was very popular. And he gives dimensions. So now I am going to share the same with you. So the length of the kulal, that is 20 virls. Virl. He uses a unit called virl. So approximately that is 15-inch. The circumference, that is 3 by 8 inches, that is 4.5 virl. The left side is closed. The tip has a bronze ring, which is half a rice grain in the width. Yes. What a great achievement he had. They have already explored. Actually, this made me to make this flute. I have named it as Loha Vamshi. Silappathikaram inspired me to do experiment on flute. Originally, though it is bamboo flute, actually this flute was given to me as a blessing from N. Ramani sir. Yes, when I got first prize in AR competition in the year 1980, he had been to Mysore. He blessed me. He gave me a flute, his own flute. This is that flute. Now I have customized the same, and it is Loha Vamshi. So I have used brass rings. Silappathikaram has one ring on the left side. So here I have covered holes with different rings, so that resonance, sound quality, so there is an enhancement here. The mouth hole is bored at a distance of 1.5 inches from the left tip. The right end is left open. There are 8 finger holes on the kulal. So make to be noted. 8 finger holes were already existed during Silappathikaram times. Then the first hole is at a distance of 1/4 inches from the mouth hole. the large finger hole, the last finger hole is at a distance of 2 virals. That is 1.5 from the right tip. The space between the 2 consecutive finger holes is 3 by 4 inches. That is 1 viral. The distance between the first and the 8th finger hole is 6 3 by 4 inches, 9 viral. This corresponds to 5-pitch flute of Carnatic music. Mali and some of the great legendary flutists, they selected this flute. And even in our culture, number 5 is auspicious. Panchabhutam, Panchanadai. 5, it is most auspicious. So here also a kind of coincidence is there. So here 1 viral means 3 by 4 inches. Therefore we can say flute, it was already evolved during Silappathikaram. Dear scholars, several treatises are there. Matangas Brihaddeshi, and then Manasollasa or Abhilashitartha Chintamani of Chalukyan Emperor Someshwara, a great scholar. So that treatise is an encyclopedia on all the fine arts, literature, not 1 or 2, including Ashvashastram, Pakashastram, everything is there. So in Vinoda, actually he calls each chapter as Vinodam. He explains the flute. He has given a lot of information, but I am skipping because of time constraint. I am going to Shangadeva's Sangeeta Ratnakara. Shangadeva's period, that is a most important milestone in the history and in the evolution of Indian music in general, Carnatic music in particular. Shangadeva, actually, his ancestors, they came from Kashmir, crown of Indian knowledge and wisdom. They came to South India, they settled in Devagiri, and so he was a wonderful scholar. He explains flute, how that should be, what are the materials used to make the flute, how many types are there. He has explained 15 types of flutes. It depends on the length of the flute. So it starts from Mukharandhram and up to the 8th finger hole. Here also, the flute had 8 finger holes. Actually, 7 finger hole having flutes were in usage. For in my collection, I have that one antique flute. So this has only 7 finger holes. It was also in practice, but finger holes were evolved, 8 finger holes were in practice in this way. It is also one of the most ancient flute. My mother used to play when she was 6 years old. Yes. So it has though it is a very small flute, the circumference is very less and very thin flute, but the intensity is more. Then, I would like to give you some information about different dimensions, different types of flutes. Flute having 1 inch, that was called Ekavira. Flute having 2 inches, it is Umapati. Flute having 3 inches, that is Tripurusha. 4 Chaturmukha, 5 Panchavaktra, 6 Shanmukha, 7 Muni. Actually, this Muni word that has used in Medkarta system of 72. Muni and Vasu, Vasu Chakram, Vasu also used. Then 9 inches, that is Nathendra. Then 10 inch, that is Mahananda. Once again, this Mahananda flute 10, it coincides with number 5 pitch. Silappathikaram quoted 5 pitch and the Kudal. So here also, Mahananda flute, it gives Mahananda to listeners. What a great coincidence is there between Silappathikaram and Sangeeta Ratnakara. You see, we had a common music system. Yes, madam, common music system. So entire South India was influenced by this ancient music system, which already prevailed during Silappathikaram. That has enriched Carnatic music evolution as a whole. That may be pun. So many things are there to reveal, but I don't go into detail. Then 11 inch, that is Rudra. 12 Aditya, but he omits 13. Then 14 inches, that is Manu. Then 16 Kalanidhi. 16 inch, that is Kalanidhi. Then 17 inch, he rejects. 18 Ashtadashangula. 1 angula means the length of half the thumb. Here, the speaking length is the distance between the mouth hole to the 8th finger hole. So, why he has omitted these 3? That is number 13 inch, 15 inch and 17 inch having flutes. He says, Shangadeva says, they are not auspicious. Like Vivadi Dosham. They are not auspicious and it may hurt our health. Actually, there may be some inner science which we don't know. We don't know about the inner science hidden. However, not only Shangadeva, even Pandari Kavithala also says the same, Manasolaskar, Someshwar also says the same. Therefore, there must be some reason behind it. One important thing, Mali used to say 5 pitch is ideal, 5 end is ideal. Actually, he preferred 5 pitch. Even Shankaran, Jain's father, grandfather, so he was also using the same pitch. And Madhuranath, his legacy, TR Mahalingam's legacy, they used to play on the same pitch, flute. Then Shangadeva explains musical ensemble. And he explains different type of ensembles. He calls it as Vamshika Vrinda. Vamshika Vrinda means ensemble consisting only flutists. Then Gayani Vrinda. There, vocalists, co-vocalists, flutists, everyone were the part of the same. There he describes Uttama, Madhyama and Adhama Vrindas also. Now, Shangadeva explains playing techniques. Production of harmonics from a single finger hole. What a great concept he had. For example, same position, but word-blowing technique. This is a technique explained by Shangadeva in his Sangeeta Ratnakara. And then he says, among Veena and voice, Vamshi has 3 gunas, special gunas to Vamshi, that is flute, Lalita, Madhura and Snigdha. And Shangadeva calls the nada emerged from the combination of Vamsha, Veena and vocal music as Rakti. My dear scholarly friends and all the music lovers, entire musicological literature, he emphasizes Rakti. Rakti Gunam. That is with reference to the unison of flute, Veena and voice. I don't know why that practice has diminished. But in the entire evolution history, we can see almost all the musicological treatises have given evidences to combination of flute, that is Vamshi, then Veena and voice. It is Rakti because it is more melodious. That more melody, it is referred to flute in particular according to Shangadeva. Then, most important, Futkara gunas. Shangadeva explains how to use Futkara. Most of the flutists, they are following the same. But Shangadeva has given suggestion how it should be. Snigdhata, ghanata rakti, vyaktihi, prachurata dvanehe, lalityam, komalatvam cha, nadanurananam tatha, tristhanatvam, shravakatvam, madhuryam, savadhanata, dvadasheti, gunaha, proktaha, futkare suri shangana. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Snigdhata, futkara should be friendly. Then ghanata, futkara should be solid and should be potential. Rakti, that should be associated with ranjakatvam. When fused with veena and vocal music, the flute should be able to fill the melodious sound. Vyakti, futkara should be very distinct and expressive. Prachurata, that should have nada bahulyam. Lalitya, futkara should be cheerful. Komalatvam, that should be tender and soft. Anurananam, that should resonate. Resonance should be there. Tristhanatvam should be able to pervade 3 octaves, namely Mandra, Madhya and Tara, etc. Then Shravakatvam should be clearly audible and should be able to give pleasing experience to listeners. Savadhanatvam, with patience, and should be calm enough. Really, I was surprised to see all these great instructions given by Shangadeva. He explains Futkara doshas. Futkaro yamalastokaha krishaskalita yityami. Futkara dosha yamalam bruvate prati futkritim. Eva manvarthanamatva notyate lakshanam prithak kapilastumbaki kaki sandashtascha vyavasthitaha pancheti futkriter dosha naparanu chirepare yah kafo hata dvakrat dvisvara sputito bhavet kapilosau tu yadvana prayah proktastu tumbaki taranyonataya kakasvaraha kakiti kathyate alpa sandashtavadbhati yosau sandashta uchyate unodhi kavayo rukshaha kathyate so vyavasthitaha kanthasya gunadoshaye purvoktasteshu kechana Futkare ita yogam yojani yamani shibhihi. Yamala. Spit in futkara prayoga. It is a major constraint in playing flute. Stoka, weak futkara, with insufficient breath. Krisha, that is feeble futkara. Then skalitam, frequent stops in futkara prayoga. And so that the discontinuity in the same. Futkara in bits. Then kampitam, futkara in shivering. Then kahofahata, mucus coming out with futkara. Then spuritam, futkara prayoga with sound. There should be no sound when we apply futkara. Then tumbaki kaki, futkara with a different sound tumba while applying this sound. It is a major constraint. And also similar to the harsh, unpleasant sound of a crow. Sandashtam. In Vamshi Vadana, futkara being shrutiless in higher octaves. Then Kanthasya, futkara filled with body sounds. So Shangadeva's instructions to flute is that. Sir? Yes, sir. Ama, sir. Ama, sir. Right, sir. Lot of similarities are there, sir. Right. Now, he explains Vamshika Gunas. Beautiful. Anguli Sarana Bhyasaha Susthanatvam Suragata. Suraga Vyaktir Madhuryanvita Vegada Gatagate. Gita Vadana Dakshatvam Gatranam Tanadayita. Taddoshachadanam Marga Deshi Rageshu Kaushalam. Swasthana Vadavasthane Rageda Bhuti Pragalbhata. Vamshikasya Gunanetan Vakti Shri Karanagranihi Iti Vamshika Gunaha. That is, Anguli Saranabhyasaha, good practice in the usage of left and right fingers in flute playing. Then, Susthanatvam, perfect Swarasthana management in flute playing. Then, Suragata, producing good Ragaranjana. Ragabhivyakti, that is expression of different rasas in flute. Prabandha Vadana, skill in playing different compositional forms on flute. Most important factor, that one. Then Sthana Pradayitvam, through flute playing, skill in showing the specific pitch of the male or female singers. Then Gayaka Doshachadanam. Actually, flute was an accompanying instrument to vocal music. That is right, sir. Right. If there is any dosham in the singer, skill in playing pakkavadyam, with sukta futkaram in the defensive way, from singer's point of view, so that the dosham is not noticeable. Then, Sarvaraga Parijnanam. Oh God. So, oh, right. So, my dear scholars, actually, lot of things are there to share with you, but because of time constraint, I am cutting. Now, directly I am going over to Kumbakodam Sharma Shastri ji. So, lot of things are there. Even sculptural evidences are there, literary evidences are there, paintings are there, showing that flute was evolved as a drone instrument, it was evolved as a pakwadyam instrument to dance, and also in instrumental ensemble, everything. Now, so I will go over to Sharma Shastri. Actually, Sharbha Shastri was a great legendary flutist. He was responsible for the status of a concert instrument to flute. Because of his effort only, flute was recognized as a concert instrument. Before him, it was an accompaniment to dance, and it was a part of ensemble, and also it was a part of folk music and temple tradition, etc. Then he developed flute playing techniques and breathing techniques so that it was Gayananugam. Gayananaga means, actually our treatises say flute is that should be Gayananaga. So actually, Kumbakonam Sharbha Shastri followed the same, and we don't have any audio clippings. So it is most unfortunate. He played with Sahitya conscience, that is most important. Sharbha Shastri. So these are all given by different texts, and even great scholars have given some of the details about Sharbha Shastri. Later, his disciple, Palladam Sanjeev Rao, he was a legendary musician. He was Sangeeta Kalanidhi. He shaped technical, aesthetic and performance traditions of modern Carnatic flute playing. Evolution of flute playing with reference to raga purity and classicism could be seen, could be traced in his flute playing. He inspired many great laurels, very great legendary flutists. Now let us listen to a raga lapana in the raga Kambhoji. So now we can observe that the flute playing style of Palladam Sanjeev Rao was very close to harmonium style of playing. Actually, it happened. Even he said, I am just following the footsteps of my guru. So actually he was playing, in what way he was playing, I am simply following the same. So that was a statement by Palladam Sanjeev Rao to Mali. So therefore, we can say even Sharbha Shastri may be playing the same. Now, so I will come over to Tirupambaram Swaminatha Pillai. Really, he was one of the highly innovative flutists of 20th century. He played an important role in the evolution of flute. His flute playing emphasized Gamaka Shuddhi, Shruti Shuddhi, breathing control, and Ragalapanam with Savadhanatvam. So we can observe. Now, even he used Tutukarams, Footkarams meaningfully. That is the uniqueness of Swaminatha Pillai. So to represent Sahityaksharam and Swaras, he used Footkaras in a meaningful way. Let us hear too the Ragalapana in the Raga Shankarabharanam. Now I will move on to legendary Mali. Actually, legendary Mali paved the way for further evolution of flute in Carnatic classical music through his multi-dimensional approach from 360-degree perspective, and also his technical and aesthetic innovations associated with his intellectual as well as subjective genius. His major contribution, cross-fingering technique, parrot clutch. So most of the flutists and scholars, they have recognized. Because of these techniques, he was able to play flute and gamakas and gliding on the notes and vocal style of playing on his flute. Then he used a futkaram very meaningfully with reference to swaras and sahityaksharas. Actually, even Tirupambaram Swaminatha Pillai had also same qualities in his futkara prayoga. Then his blowing technique was marvelous. So he introduced extremely long, unbroken phrases resembling Nagaswaram Sampradayam, Nagaswara type Sancharam. And his vocal type of playing, it explored something new to Carnatic classical music. So he emphasized silence, actually, most important factor in music. One great scholar by name Allama Prabhu, he says, how music should be shabdadolagana nishabdadante. Silence within a word. That should be music. So here, Mali's music had silence as music. So one great international Western musician, saxophone player, Fabrizio Casal, his opinion about Mali's music, in his words, the greatest and the most impressive quality of Mali's flute was silence that he brings forth through his swaras. The sound of his flute was so rich in his timbre was only because he could pick his notes from the force of silence. Ah, what a beautiful. The two pure silence. That is why even when he stopped playing in a concert, the sound of his flute continued to fill the auditorium. That is his greatness. Then a great flutists are here. Our Shashank is here, Jayant is here. So you see, in the evolution, these are all remarkable milestones. Then he was a Shuddha Swara Aradhaka. He explored flute playing in Mandrasthayi with full of aesthetics. He was playing in micro levels of music. So several information is there to share with you, but I am not in a position to share because of time. But however, I would like to quote some of the most important flutists, Sangeeta Kalanidhi T. Vishwanathan, contemporary of TR Mahalingam. So then, who was a disciple of Sangeeta Kalanidhi, Tirupambaram Swaminatha Pillai. I enjoyed his flute playing like anything. Marvelous singing. So he selected 2.5 pitch. Vishwanathan played on 2.5 pitch. And also he was playing on 1 pitch, that is C. Varakai. So he was playing on flute. Not only that one, he was singing. In a concert, once he sings, and then he plays on the flute of 1 pitch, so that he was singing in Varkatai. I have heard several concerts of him, so really it is heart-touching, very innovative flutist he was. Then Ramani. Ramani means Ranjakatvam. Ramaniyata. Ramya. So his combination of all the good qualities which are necessary for a good flutist, as explained by Sangeeta Ratnakara, Shangadeva, and also Silappathikaram, Ilangodigal. He explored new dimensions to Carnatic classical flute playing. So, similarly, great legendary flutist K.S. Gopal Krishnan, Sikkil sisters, Shankaran, very great legendary flutists, they have explored. And C.T. Srinivasmurthy Muralidhar, A.K. Subbrao, Venkatesh Iyengar, and several laureate, great flutists have enriched our tradition. Now, I will move on to the next one, the present. Okay, right. Okay, I can. So in the present day flute, because evolution is a continuous process, I should come to the end. In the present day flute music, Vidwan Shashank Subramania, he's here. He has explored new possibilities, including the usage of bass flute for the entire concert, navigating through multiple octaves using multiple flutes, and developing finger techniques to play complex swara progressions and gliding through notes spread across different octaves seamlessly. Molly's disciple, Madhuranath, N. Casey, such great, she was the only lady flutist. She was very close to Molly, and in Gurukula Shishyam she learned to flute. That is the speciality actually. Even our musicological and painting, sculpture, everything says ladies were very first to learn flute. So actually Casey also. In the evolution of flute, in Carnatic music, the role of flute makers is remarkable, which has enabled the flutists to explore new possibilities in playing techniques. A great applause to flute makers. To conclude, flute has been evolving since time immemorial. As I said in the beginning, so since primitive age, we don't know the time, beginning time. And will continue to evolve as evolution is a continuous process forever. So here, I am very thankful to the President of Madras Music Academy, Dr. Murali sir, Secretary, Dr. Sriram sir, and Sangeeta Kalanidhi designate, Vidwan Sriram Kumar sir, and Srimati Dr. Meenakshi Sumati Krishnan Madam, R.S. Jayalakshmi, Dr. R.S. Jayalakshmi Madam, Dr. Rita Rajan Madam, Dr. Balasubramanian, all the committee members for giving me an opportunity to share this little knowledge with you. I enjoyed. And also a great Vidwan, Ganakala Bhushana, Dr. R.K.P. sir has come all over the way from Bengaluru. So special pranams to him. And great flutists are here. My pranams to all the Vidwans, Vidushis, Rasikas, Sahridayas, students, to everyone. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Members of the experts committee, Dr. Rama Kausalya.
Thank you very much, sir, for your informative packed lecture. I learnt a point from your lecture, apart from the information, the modulation. This modulation able to reach the audience very easily. I learnt it from you. I just want to tell you about two more literary evidence from Tamil, apart from Silappathikaram. There is one Periya Puranam, a Bhakti literature, Anayar is one of the devotees.
Yes.
He attained Sivaloka just by playing Panchaksharam in his flute. That Puranam contains a lot of information about flute. One. Another one is a literary a music treatise, Panchamarabu. The time it to be decided is different opinions there. It gives a lot of information about flute also and materials used for flute. And one more thing, in Silappathikaram Kural Nindradhi Yare, it is said in a different context. But today at Tiruvayar Tyagaraja Utsavam, before singing Pancharatna Kirtanam, Chetulara is played in flute.
Ama.
Because of Sanjeeva Rao, right?
Sanjeeva Rao, because of Sanjeeva Rao. So it was a very wonderful lecture, and we learnt a lot about flute from the Vedic period to date. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Because of time constraint, I could not give more details, madam, for which I really regret. Right, madam. Thank you.
Sangeeta Kala Acharya, Dr. Rita Rajan.
Namaskaram, sir.
Namaste, madam. Namaste.
Modalla, we must thank sir for having been of so much help while our academy research center students were doing their PhD. We will never forget his timely help, guidance, and for a few scholars, he himself was at the Viva was conducting the exams.
We owe you
He
a great
guided.
debt
We
of gratitude
owe
for
him
that.
so much because of his help and guidance. We could get all our six research scholars get their eight PhD scholars get their PhD before Corona started. Just when the convocation was over, the next week it was Corona and everything was closed. In fact, I prayed here the Tumkur University Hanuman that I would offer him a Vatamala if all our graduates were, awarded with the PhD. So a big thanks to sir and namaskarams. But for you, it wouldn't have been happened at all. Thank you so much, sir.
That is my fortune, madam. I am always with Madras Music Academy.
Then regarding you just played sa pa sa with single, just by adjusting the blowing. No? That's a common technique for all the wind instruments, isn't it? Because there is one Western instrument, bugle. Rajasri can play it, I think. When she was in the Queen Mary's college band, bugle is just by adjusting the blowing, you play music. There are no finger holes. So you have a bugle band also. It is going in the Republic Day parade.
Excellent, madam.
That's true.
Yes.
My personal compliments, madam.
Yes. Then Nadi, you said, sir.
Nadi Vadya Vishesho Venuhu. According to Sayanacharya, actually he revived Vedas during Vijayanagara Empire period. He has written Bhashya to Vedas. When he analyzes Nadi, he says Vadya Vishesho Venuhu. Therefore, Venu means it is made up of Vamsha. Therefore, I call this as Loha Vamshi. So, Vamsha means bamboo. So, Venu, the name given to a bamboo flute during Veda. Nadi, even there is another opinion that may be a reed instrument. Nadi, it may be a reed like Nagaswaram. So that may be an ancient form for Nagaswaram or Mukhavine. Such reed instruments.
No, we have this Magudi.
Magudi, Ama.
Magudi, you can use it as a drone instrument,
Right.
and you can also play. So, Shruti Nadi, Swara Nadi, and Rendi, we have read in. So, Magudi had those two.
Yes, madam.
methods of playing. Then regarding this Tuttukaram, you said, sir, Tirupamburam Swaminatha Pillai, he used Tuttukarams in his flute. I think because before becoming a flute player, he was a Nagaswaram player.
Yes, definitely, madam. He was a Nagaswaram player. At the same time, he knew vocal music, he knew violin. So he was well aware of different instruments. Even Mali was an excellent violinist. He knew Nagaswaram, he knew vocal. Even T. Vishwanathan. So Balaswaratha, you gave that beautiful input to me. So in our meeting. So actually, T. Balasaraswati's brother, T. Vishwanathan, who belongs to Veena Dharmal's Bani, he was a combination of different goods from Nagaswaram, from vocal, from dance, so different art forms. Therefore, his music was a combination of different plus points. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Vidwan Shashank.
Namaskaram. Wonderful presentation. Absolutely wonderful. The first time I even heard your name, actually, very sorry for that, because my father often says he knew you, but actually I'm seeing you for the first time. It was really wonderful. But I have to mention my thought process is that the flute style evolved along with the vocal styles, because vocal was a background instrument. If you see, even vocal style evolved majorly with gamakam structures and everything over a period of time. So I think flutists or any instrumentalists for that matter, their styles evolved because of the background of their own learning of music. That's one thing. And secondly, I think the pitch 5 flute was more because there was no amplification in concerts during those days. The pitch 5, as you rightly mentioned, the sound density was very high and the reach was good. And therefore, I think, but even if you saw the great Mahalingam sir, he played mostly in bass octaves because the sweetness always lied in the bass octaves. So, and also for many identity purposes, other great flutists around the time and after also carved their own niche in D sharp, and by the tone of the flute, by the shruti, people would identify the artist immediately. So T. Vishwanathan's case, in his own words, were very different, because he wanted to sing along, explain the greatness of the Bani that he represented. I think made him choose C. And for me particularly, as you mentioned, I have now completely switched to the bass octave flutes, because all these beautiful technologies we could use. And I worked with many makers around the world. And today I would happily like to inform you that I didn't know that texts existed that wood can be used for the flute. Many argue with me that India is known for moongil and bamboo, but I play flutes of ebony, rosewood, maple wood with joints. Today I'm able to carry my flute.
An antique flute made up of blackwood.
Exactly. So today we have taken that to even 43, 44-inch flutes we are able to carry in a backpack by using hinges and all that. So someday I would request the Academy to give me an opportunity to present that.
Certainly.
But anyways, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. An excellent input.
And another person I would like to definitely mention is my father's guru, Dindigal S.P. Natarajan, who was one of the best disciples of the great Mali. And someone who had a good vocal knowledge. And he was also in some ways related to my guru, K.V. Narayanaswamy sir.
Yes. Thank you so much, Vidwan Shashank. As I said, the stage is open to all Vidwan, so you just have to let us know when, and next year or the year after, whenever it's convenient, we can have it, not a problem. Thank you. If there are no other queries here, Dr. Dr. Subhashini Pathsarthi, yes please.
It's a wonderful presentation. You were mentioning that parrot-like
parrot clutch.
Can use a parrot clutch.
Madam, parrot clutch means அந்த கிணி இருக்குதே ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி இப்படி.
I call it the claw style.
ஆமாம். Actually, so in the beginning, it was a vertical. Actually, one thing, a great scholar by Pandarikvida says, always our right and left palms should be in the form of Sarpa Shirsha and Ardha Chandra. In this way. So actually, this is our hand, palm, so in this way. That's all. He says. Actually, previous notice, they used to play on this one. Even my grandfather, he was using the same.
But, to add to your point, you are now demonstrating a L-shaped fingering, but you played with a parallel fingering. So that was also part of evolution. Earlier style was parallel,
Yes.
and Mali sir brought in the L-shaped fingering, which had a better grip to play gamakams.
Right. You are
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Sumati Meenakshi Krishnan.
Namaskaram. And as Dr. Rita mentioned, we are very indebted to you for your timely help. That was wonderful. Your scholarship is really evident. You mentioned that one of the characteristics of a good flautist is to understand the literature as well as the music. We could see your scholarship at every stage. It was so beautiful. Also, I want to mention here that many research scholars of today have studied under him. He is sitting quietly in a corner in Mysore, but even our awardee Arati Rao was his under him, trained under him.
Yes.
So, thank you so much for
Thank
this
you,
wonderful.
madam. Thanks a lot.
If there are no further queries or comments, I'd like to pass the mic on to Sangeeta Kalanidhi elect Vidwan RK Sriram Kumar for his summing up.
Namaskaram, sir. Such an educative, such a revelation to listen to all the history of the flute right from the Natya Shastra, right from the Vedic times, and how it has come down the ages, and the different types of flutes and the different types of fingering techniques, and especially the do's and don'ts were so very interesting. Especially the don'ts were very, very interesting. And as you rightly said, so many musicians, such great luminaries have added and have chiseled this art of playing the flute so beautifully. And very interestingly, I find that this Anjakatte seems to have been a very, very favorite, because I've heard from Sangeeta Kalanidhi Shri T.N. Krishnan, and he used to accompany Shri Mali sir often. And Krishnan Mama always used to play his solo concerts in Shruti F or Nalakatte. So while most of the other Vidwans chose to play at 2 or 2.5, Krishnan Mama used to choose to play in 4 specifically. So once I asked him, do you have a very specific reason for this? Or appo chonnar Krishnan Mama, hey, 4 katte irukattam, 5 katte innume nanna irukku fudalukku அப்படின்னார். So his logic was, generally instrumental music will sound better at a higher Shruti rather than a lower Shruti. In fact, even though it's a little bit digressing, violin playing to find a natural set of strings, now we use all the synthetic and chrome core strings like that. Earlier it used to be gut strings, and so to find a natural set of strings for a lower Shruti is more challenging than finding a natural set of, it's more challenging than the higher Shrutis. My Guru Shri V.V. Subramaniam has perfected the art of choosing the right string and the right technique and the right way of playing for the lower Shrutis, in my opinion. But for the higher Shrutis, because even in Western music, they use a higher Shruti. It is more or less, even though the system is different, the tuning is different, they almost play at 6A. So, and the choice of Anjikati, to what Shashank just now said, all, yeah. And Ramani Mama, we can never forget his wonderful way of playing, and he probably like perfected the art of playing in two and a half very nicely, because I've heard from my very good friend who's a disciple of Ramani Mama here, V. Karthikeyan, and he has said that making a flute at 2.5 and perfecting it is very difficult, and I think Ramani Mama very beautifully achieved that. And the word about silence was really, really so touching. With Mali sir's music, we often experience that long drawn carveis, that Vishranti in his playing, the Shruti Shuddham with which he played, and more importantly, all of them have complemented with vocal music. I think that is a very, very good takeaway for all instrumentalists, I guess, especially for the violin. So if you have to play the violin the way you sing, you have to sing in your mind. That is very, very, and I think that is a very, very good takeaway from all the flutists that you just recently mentioned, because we have Swaminatha Pillai who could also sing, Mali sir who could play the violin as well, yes. Krishnan Mama could play the flute as well, and Vishwa sir, his music and his singing and his playing, it's all just so blissful. And as you said, Shri K.S. Gopalakrishnan, Srimati Sikkil sisters, Srimati Keshi, and many, many, many more. And recently we have Shashank and Jayant in the next generation. Generations have followed the same legacy, and very touching of you to mention the flute makers, because it is very important to make an instrument nicely. Unless the instrument is made nicely, however we can pour our heart and soul into it, that experience has to come out. And I'm so thankful to you. I'm reminded of one verse from the Krishna Karnamritam, where the stotra is not to the Lord, it is to the flute. And it was much popularized by Shamangudi Mama. Ayi Muruli Mukunda Smera Vaktraravinda Shvasana Madhura Zagne Twam Pranamyadya Yache Adharamani Samipam Praptavatyam Bhavatyam Kathaya Rahasi Karne Maddasham Nandasuno. This is a very, very beautiful shloka. This is a very beautiful thought process actually by Leela Shuka. And the prayer is not to the Lord. Prayers to the flute. He addresses, the meaning of this shloka is, he addresses his prayer to the flute, Ayi Murali. Because he says, you are always on the lips of the Lord. Ayi Murali Mukunda Smera Vaktraravinda Shvasana Madhura Sagne Tvam Pranamyadya Yache. The breath of the Lord goes into you and comes out, and it is so blissful it is so sweet, the sound is. So you have this privilege of being on the Lord's lips always. So my prayer to you, so next time when you get onto his lips, please tell him about me in secrecy. So that my chance is not taken away. So please tell the Lord about me in secrecy, so that he will bless me. And thank you for coming all the way. Thank you. Such a blessing to listen to you talk. And thank you so very much.